Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/TrueOffMyChest, where we have another example of why girls' nights out is just an excuse to cheat. Let's begin. My wife was likely cheating on me. Posted by Reddit user Maleficent Glove.
My wife has recently started going out and staying out late into the evening, partying and drinking heavily. It started off with her going out with some new friends who have been bad influences, and she's taken cocaine a few times with them, and she's only returned home after 3 a.m. A few weeks later this continued, and then twice she hasn't come home until the next morning. I confronted her and asked her if she went home with another man. She denied it and promised to let me know wherever she is when she went out with her girlfriends. It continued weeks later. Eventually I decided to log into her computer and read her WhatsApp and Facebook. She's been sending her boudoir photos to another man on Facebook and having explicit conversations, but it doesn't seem like they have hooked up. Then another late night, and this time she got totally drunk and hardly remembers the details herself, but sounds like she ended up in bed with another guy who went down on her, kissing and regular vanilla stuff. Not sure what that means exactly, but I'm assuming sex. She's described it as a drunken mistake to her unsavory friends. She went out with him a week or so later for drinks, lying to me that she was going to go hang out with one of her girlfriends. Obviously, she didn't come home until 4:30 a.m. Texts between them the next day weren't exactly clear on what happened, but he asked her if his dick was big or small. We've been together 12, going on 13 years, married 2.8 years, no kids. But we were discussing it and wanted to make the move to have kids within the next few years. I've saved screenshots of the conversations with a view towards confronting her, but trying to carry on like normal while I gather more evidence from her texts. Not that I need it with the new no-fault laws in UK divorce legislation, but want to have it absolutely certain for my understanding. Everything I know is just from reading her texts. I'm struggling to concentrate at work and trying to keep it together. I'll have to speak to my boss and tell him things are bad. I'll seek out a therapist to talk to. It's not always black and white as to whether you should try and repair things or leave, so I'm not sure yet. We were happy and she was faithful until we moved to the UK 18 months ago. This has all been in the last few months. I'm not sure what to do. Emotionally, I'm a mess right now. Just getting this off my chest. Thoughts?
Don't even bother talking to her, OP, and I sure hope you've stopped having sex with the bitch. An unplanned pregnancy right now would be disastrous for your case. Come on, dude. You know deep down that she has been cheating on you for a long time now, definitely. So the first thing to do is to go see a lawyer to stop separating your finances. Find out how the division of asset will look for you and follow their advice to the letter. You don't have kids with a woman, so you should be able to have a clean break. Don't get married again, dude. It's for your own good. And now for today's second story. My wife has been cutting the strings off my pajama pants, and she won't admit to it. I'm not sure why. Posted by Reddit user Seth Borf.
For background's sake, we have been married for 10 years. This behavior is pretty recent. This really isn't that bad, but I was hoping someone could have an explanation because I asked her about this and she just denies it. But we don't have kids, so it can only be her. In the last year or so, I've been discovering the tie strings for my pajama pants have been disappearing. It can only be her removing these because we don't have kids and I'm the only one who actually has to leave the house to go to work, so she's alone in the house a lot. Her pants still have all their strings, but none of mine do. I have bought more pants to replace the ones with missing strings, but those eventually go missing too. We have a good relationship and I don't know why she denies it when I ask about it. It's really not that big of a deal, so I don't really press the issue. It's just really bizarre. She is a bit of a prankster and so am I, but I don't know what the point of the prank is if this is indeed some sort of practical joke. Does anyone else have any experience with this sort of thing? Update 1. Okay, so I just got home and checked inside the waistbands of all my pajama pants. I only have 5 of them, so it didn't take long. No strings in them, so they definitely didn't retract. I need to get some sleep, so I'll check the washer drum and filter when I wake up. Update 2. Someone in the comments suggested maybe my cat had been taking them out and hiding them since cats tend to have hiding spots. One of them is under the couch. I just checked and I found one there. It's just one, but it's a start. I'm going to check his other spots too. Update 3. Okay, so when my wife woke up, I told her about finding a string in our cat's hiding spot. She was amused and wanted to help me look at his other spots for them too. Well, none of his other known spots had them, but she noticed something weird about the back of our other couch. It had a small hole in the bottom of it. I shined a flashlight in the hole and found a whole bunch of random stuff in there. We took the cushion off this section of the couch and cut a hole next to the spring, and voila! We found his true secret stash. All my strings are there. Not only that, but we found pretty much all of my wife's missing smaller squishmallows and her missing AirPods. We even found a missing pendant that we've been trying to find for years. I'm going to buy her a box of chocolates.
OP, when you said that you were going to buy chocolates, I sure hope you meant for your wife. Your cat may be a dickhead, but it doesn't deserve to be given a box of poison. Anyways, I'm glad you finally solved this mystery. And now for today's third story. I just confirmed that my wife wants bigger. Posted by Reddit user and their backup.
I'm slightly below average. While I wish I were bigger, I can't change what I can't change. I've always had a suspicion my wife wants bigger. When she first saw my dick, she had no reaction. During sex, she made no sounds and her face had no reaction. The only way she reacts and has an orgasm is by me rubbing her clit. We talked about my concern and she assured me she loved having sex and loved how big I was. She isn't the most honest about things, so I was still concerned. I read that some women can't come from penetration alone, so I decided to just move on. As you can imagine, our sex life isn't very exciting. I tried to spice things up and got a dildo for her so I could provide oral while penetrating her. The dildo was as long as my dick but slightly thicker. She loved the penetration with the oral and said the dildo was really big. I asked if she liked it and she said yes, so I got her 2 more dildos. One was 1.5 inches longer but twice as thick as my dick. The other was 3 inches longer and a little thicker than B. When she first saw B and C, she thought they were too big but still wanted to try them. When B went inside, she was making all the sounds and faces I wished she'd make from my dick. After just 5 minutes, she asked for C. She went crazy with C. I asked if she wanted an even bigger one and she said yes, so that's on order. It was hot, but I also felt weird that all these years she's been so dissatisfied with my dick. I asked her if she's ever seen a dick as big as C and she said she had once. I shouldn't have asked. My insecurity got the better of me. TLDR, my wife showed no signs of enjoying my dick other than her telling me. She tried and loved a dildo almost twice as long and more than twice as thick as my dick. I feel confused. I like seeing her actually enjoy being penetrated. But it saddens me it's not from me. I also feel even more insecure because the size she loves is the size of an ex of hers. Update. Please stop messaging me, y'all. I'm overwhelmed by all the responses, lol. I feel a lot better about the situation. You all really helped. I laughed. I felt validated and I felt comforted. Some said they'd feel the same way. I appreciate the validation. Some said I should run. Thanks for the laugh. We've been through highs and lows. I'm down, but I'll get through this. My wife has always stayed by my side. Some were comforting and reassuring. I really appreciated the perspective. I especially liked that someone said find happiness in that she's experiencing this with you. Some have some ideas of sleeves. I'll have to check those out.
Look, OP, I don't really like giving sex advice on this channel, but I get where you're coming from. I'm Asian after all. So if you really want to make your wife feel that she's filled up to the brim, even with a smaller member, then you may want to try the Hershey Highway. And now for today's final story. Am I the asshole for telling my brother I met his new girlfriend in an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting? Posted by Reddit user The Spiciest Bagel.
My brother started dating this new girl and I realized I recognized her from Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm not an addict, but my lawyer recommended I attend some Alcoholics Anonymous meetings to help strengthen an ongoing case against me. I know it's her because I remember her very unique name from the Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, and she also talked for a very long time. I thought it was important to mention it to my brother is because I'm worried about her as a partner to him. In Alcoholics Anonymous, she mentioned that not only did she use hard drugs, but also that she feels like she can't control herself. She also admitted to drugs making her verbally aggressive and unstable emotionally. And at the time Sue was not sober. I know my brother and I know that he holds himself and his partners to a high standard and that he hates drama in his relationship. I told him what she said and he broke up with her and she basically stalked me and also called me an untrustworthy bitch who ruined her experience with Alcoholics Anonymous. Honestly, I think I was just trying to help my brother out. But some of my friends think it was messed up for me to tell him. But I think it's better for him to know what kind of person she is ahead of time. Am I the asshole? Edit. To clear things up because people are assuming a lot. I am fighting my case because I believe the legal system is corrupt. But I want to be accountable in other ways. I don't regularly drink and drive. I don't even drink at all. The night was the worst night of my life and I would take it back in a heartbeat. All I'm asking is opinions on how I should have handled the situation with this girl, not to talk about whether I deserve to rot in jail because of my DUI. I do not condone drinking and driving and think it's a very serious crime, and I understand the gravity of my actions. And now for OP's update. My reception last time was not very positive, and I realized that my approach at the time wasn't the best. So in this update, I'm going to try and be emotionless as possible and just give you guys the facts. I showed my brother the thread. We talked about it. He told me he thinks I have a drinking problem. That was hard to hear. He also reached out to his ex. I don't know the results of that. I reread my replies. The stories about drunk drivers killing loved ones hit me the hardest. I felt a lot of guilt realizing what I did and went into a depression spiral. I think everything I bottled up came out and I quit my job. I emailed the Alcoholics Anonymous group leader with a lengthy apology. She was upset, of course, but was very kind. I'm banned from Alcoholics Anonymous, but she matched me with someone to talk to. I texted my brother's ex with an apology and an offer to meet up in person. She didn't reply for a few days. Eventually she did and said that she acknowledges, but she also went in on me and went into detail about how much pain I caused her. She said she cannot forgive me yet. I talked to my lawyer. We're trying to figure out the logistics of a guilty plea without conviction because he thinks that what I did in Alcoholics Anonymous may affect my case. I'll likely get my license revoked and have to pay a fine. I'm currently jobless and I'm probably going to move back in with my parents until I can be better. There is also a tweet going around saying someone knows me and outed me to my brother. This did not happen. This person was trying to capitalize on a messed up situation for internet points. My brother and I have never met nor interacted with this person. At the moment, I am still very depressed. I am trying to right my wrongs, but I don't think I can ever do that. However, I think that this was going to come eventually and the thread didn't make me depressed. It was the consequences of my own actions. Thank you for helping me see the pain I was causing before it was too late. Edit. I'm not banned from Alcoholics Anonymous in general. Just the Alcoholics Anonymous meeting I went to.
When I first read your post, I very much unexpected to see any sign of self-reflection. And I must admit, it's not much, but it is a start, I guess. And it has been a while since the post has been updated. So if you didn't fuck this up, then I'm sure you're sober right now. I hope you're doing well, OP. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.